Alrighty, well, I went out, down to the capital, down to the third major Asian area, this one being predominantly Chinese, and well, I'm excluding Indians because there's another area that's I've got a lot of Indians, and another area that's got a lot of islanders, and about 3 areas with a lot of Vietnamese and Chinese. And yeah, I ended up going to Daiso. That's a bag I've had previously, but this time the Daiso, whatever you want to call it, I went to is probably one of the biggest ones I've seen. I got a number of things for the van. A lot of people say in van life you're best getting a smaller version of what you would in a house, and I got a lot of smaller versions and a lot of strange things and a couple of things for other people, and you know, each item's about $2.80 each, and I spent $100. Oh yeah! So we got some stuff, didn't we, Pussy? Oh, that pop noise was my back just then. Yeah. Oh, it takes me about 3 hours to get down there, it turns out. I got up at 6:30 and got there at about 9:40. Anyway, trying not to just throw all this straight in the bare ground here, or straight on the sawdust-strewn veranda. So anyway, some of these things you'll see, they're not what you might be used to seeing. They're sort of a little bit Japanese specific, some of them. You'll be shocked at how much of it is actually made in Japan. And so this is just some noodles. This is when I was getting near the end. I was really having trouble carrying all this, this stuff to the counter. It's just a bit of noodles and stuff. That's made in Japan. It says product of Japan there. The food is very different prices. You get some strange stuff. Peach and mint flavour, Kit Kats, and a lot of green tea related stuff, and I'll show you something in it. And you look at things and they'll be sweets and they'll be bright green, and it's not apple, it's green tea. But it'll be strange. It'll be jellies that are green, biscuits that are green, and they're all green tea. Just some more noodles. I possibly could have got quite a lot more of the food, but I was just carrying so much bloody weight as it was. I just thought we might have to start slowing up. So this is another one, product of Japan again. The resolution isn't very good. Yeah, I didn't exactly want to make a 1 gigabyte video. Made in Japan. That's just a little plastic food container. Some of these things will be made in China. I sort of go, Daiso is a Japanese brand, like it's a Japanese store. A lot of it's still made in China, but you'd be surprised at how much is actually made in Japan. It's quite surprising when you start looking. And the quality of it is not your dollar store crap. Because it's a Japanese store, everything is sort of made to Japanese quality expectations, and that means that a lot of what you lay your hands on is actually really high-end stuff. Even if it's made in China, it's a lot higher tolerance, far, far better than what you're going to expect from your normal dollar store, your normal cheap Chinese junk store. The quality just is, is just to a higher standard, because the Japanese either get it at a higher standard or these people lose their contract. So, yeah, anyway, I bought some of these the other day on the cheap from a certain place, and I was using one of those stupid self-serve checkouts, and I bloody dropped the thing off the edge of the checkout, and I cracked the friggin' top lid. So there was 2, and I was just completely buggered one of the lids on it. But that was another run-of-the-mill department chain. But anyway, this one's Japanese made one. I think I've got two actually. Yeah, I do. And that is really a lunchbox, more or less. You might have noticed I have, I don't know if you've seen the video yet, but when you're in the van, you've got to do a lot of things on your knees, and I did have a bit of a crappy foam thing that I've got in there that's bare foam from the 70s. I've got another thing out of the same device that's actually a heating pad that's like a plastic covered foam heating pad, but it's all out of the 70s. It's all as old as hell. It's all flaking, cracking up, screwing up, and I don't really know how much foam from the 1970s I want going musty in the back of the van, to be honest, because honestly, you close that van up for about a week, it does get a bit of a plasticky stench to it, that stale plastic smell. Probably because it's, you know, so full of plastics, and they're probably cheap plastics being a Hyundai. So I believe that's Italian, but this is a leisure mat, which is, I don't know if you're supposed to do your little yoga bits and bobs, but it's a fold-out one. So that's all right, because that'll give me a bit of, because it's very hard on your knees in the back of that van if you're just, you know, mucking around trying to do stuff in there, because you don't have room to stand up, so you go to your knees. But then because of some of the baby anchor mounts, and I mean it's got enough seat mounts in it, but there's also baby anchor mounts that I actually put the lino straight over the top of, so that'll stop me knees from getting sore. Still surprised to see. Doesn't look like Spanish to me. It looks more like Italian. Now this is one I've seen once before, and I could have got one previously, but I never really had a need for it. And in due course you're going to see, if you haven't seen already, some of my videos on thermos cooking. And I've had to go and get a brush. Oh, by the way, in regards to plastics made in Victoria, I got a brush for cleaning out, a really long-handled brush for cleaning out thermos, which is also made in Victoria. The bristles are a little bit softer than I would like. This one is essentially a similar sort of thing, but this is odd. You got a rotating handle on it, so you can sort of really, and you sort of get it in there. I think you sort of more or less crank it around, or something like that. But it's not actually a brush; it's actually sponge. So. Rotating bottle washing sponge. So I saw that before and I thought, now that's good. That's an option other than using like a brush. And the ones on the other one, it's a bit annoying that, you know, there's bristles, but instead of being like your normal pot scrubbing bristles, they're like a lot softer. But it's the only one with like a handle that's long enough to get to the bottom. So I sort of begrudgingly bought that at about 3 times the price you usually expect to pay for those sort of brushes. And anyway, that one's made in China. Where was this made? Your little symbols up here. Daiso, Japan quality. And now this is also made in China. But you'd be surprised, we'll get into some of the other things, and there's a lot made in Japan. This is, I've got a big brush that's in the van that I only just put in there, that's basically only ever been used once or twice. And I think Black Kitty might have seen the other cat. Suddenly looked up. But this one's one of these ones that you have the detergent in, and you got like a little spring thing, and you push it, and it lets detergent out as you push your little button at the top there. The damn cardboard's stabbing into it, which isn't any good. So yeah, you've all seen those where you got the brush and you got the little bit, and it lets out the detergent in there. And I think that's a lot better than the long-handled one I've got. that doesn't let you put detergent in. I've got a fairly small detergent container, so I'm going to keep the whole detergent container in the van, because it's only like about 6 inches tall or something anyway. Yeah. You got to look for a bit. Oh, made in Vietnam, this one. Oh, nose paws. That's a long time since I used those. I saw them there and I thought, why not? You know, I'm not... These are made in Korea. Well, that's a different one. Don't often see that. Yeah. Anyway, you may notice that I'm not totally hard up for money, and you know, like sometimes it's just nice to go out and have a day out and buy a few oddities. And the fact of the matter is, I actually had a list of things to buy on my phone, and I ended up with most of those things and then a whole bunch more. So I sort of was, you know, I have, this is for the van, that's for the thermos cooking, that's for the van, I need some more lids for, yeah. So I got some other Australian-made, I think they're Australian-made lunch boxes, and the lids are absolute rubbish on them, and you sort of, you know, you see these good ones in there and you think, oh, you know, I've got a few that I've broken lids on, and some of the lids are a bit loose, like they never were good from day one because they just weren't done right, and then, yeah, I'll get a couple more. Wet wipes. I sort of like having them in a little upright container like this. That's, yeah. But anyway, they're always good for cleaning things out. Usually they have them in like a little, like a tissue pack looking thing, but yeah, I sort of like these ones in a way. Just, it's a harder container, and if things can be upright, it takes up less space in the van than being flat, because, you know, it's not always the best in terms of stackability inside that van. And I need some cups in the van, just disposable ones, because I'm no good with egg yolks, and I've found that tinned tuna and egg yolks are what has given me all these reflux problems. And I've got to lay off cream as well, because I've never been good at dairy. So, and they put cream in some of these potato salads I used to buy, and that was part of, yeah, they gave me a lot of bloating and stuff as well. It made you feel like you've overeaten when you haven't, and strange stuff like that. But often what I do is I'll just fry up egg whites, or cook egg whites, but leave all the yolks out. And of course you need a place to dump all the flaming yolks, don't you? So it's good to have cups. So there was 50 packs, but they, you know, like honestly, how many cups? So I probably paid more for a 25 pack with a nice pattern on it, but, you know, like, yeah, I don't know that I'm really going to use 50 cups, so I didn't really need such a huge big stack as a bloody thing, you know, there's friggin' up here somewhere, and I just thought, oh geez, I might not be fitting all them in. I don't know, I could take half a pack and blah blah, but stuff it, you know, whatever. I probably got, you know, paid more than I needed to for that as a result. Anyway. It's made in China. Oh, this is funny. It's a long towel. So it's slightly over a foot by more than a yard long. Oh, it's got the inches, 13.3 by 39.3. So it's 34 by 100 centimetres. And yeah, I thought that might be not a bad idea to have one that hangs longer, but is still fairly short. So yeah, in due course, you know, I might be able to make up a little, you know, those things are the roof rack mounts. They're actually not that complicated, and I might be able to make up like an eyelet that hooks into one of the roof rack mounts and just, you know, leave a towel dry out beside the van if need be. But I like the idea of having a taller one that's not very wide, and I saw that there, and I thought, now that's a good idea because it allows you to hang it, but it's not very wide. But yeah, all the same, this one is also made in China, but this is like a proper bath towel. they're just different shape to normal, so. Oh, I saw these two up the front, and I grabbed the ones out of the more or less display at the front. Oh, they're not going to friggin' separate. And realise there's a whole heap up the back. Now, you can see there, you hook it on the back. So, there, and there's silicone, and the bloody things are stuck together. Made in China, so I got two of them. Probably should have charged his phone. Oh yeah, I really need a cutting knife in there, and this one folds into itself. And I'm not certain, but yeah, it's made in China as well. Trust me, there's more Japanese-made stuff coming up, so let's get to some of it. Plastic cooking spoon, made in Japan. I don't think the batteries are going too good on this phone. I might have to speed up a bit. Now, I got an egg flip, but quite honestly it was very big, and it was also, well, very straight handled, so it's not very good for coming into the small frying pans. You want one that's more 90-degree handled. And this one is apparently official Disney-ish or something. Yes, it is actually a Disney one. That's made in China. That's a nylon one. I do like the sharp bend there. It's got about a 75-degree bend or whatever it is. I've got an egg separator, but this is a different sort of egg separator. It's a little silicone doober. And it's also made in China. Oh, remember I had the red one? I thought that was enamel on the inside. It turns out, I'm fairly certain, it looks like it's Teflon. And I've scratched the hell out of the red one. And lo and behold, luckily enough I go there and they got green ones. So the red one's coming back out of the van with half the bloody Teflon scraped out, and this one will be going in the van. And there it is. You can't use it on paint and non-stick coating. Yeah, they've got a little warning that says you just can't have it high flame because it's too hard for the enamel. You know, I'm not getting where this is made. Yeah, it's also Chinese. Well, I know somebody that could do these. Disposable men's underwear. No, disposable men's underwears. I know someone who could definitely do with these. And I didn't buy these because I need them. I saw the women's one in another store, and I thought, well, I'm not going to look like a weirdo and a pervert buying them. And then I saw the men's ones and the women's in this store, so I thought, I'll get some men's ones. Yep. I just buy these things out of a curiosity factor. Just like the piss bag one you might have seen last time, they had next to the piss bag ones, they had sick bag ones, like absorbent sick bags. That's intriguing. Do not dump it to toilet. Actual size of item might be slightly different due to the status size of its material. Travel goods made in China. I just see weird stuff and I just think sometimes I'm just buy, like for a lousy $2.80, you know, you can't get a fucking can of Coke these days for that sort of money. So I just get these things out of curiosity factor. Oh, this is different. Like I was saying, green biscuit with some sort of a darker centre. This is very odd because these are Hamada Balance Power Big Energy Biscuit. This is like a fucking Red Bull biscuit or something. I think that's what it's trying to say. I can't work it out if it's like a Red Bull type biscuit or what the hell. Or, you know, it's got every blasted vitamin you could think of added to it. There's green tea in there. Made in Japan. Another one that looked more chocolatey, and I like that look. Also, Energy Biscuit Cocoa, product of Japan again. Oh yes, because like this little thing here, it's got a steel handle, and I've got another frying pan that's also got a steel handle. I thought, this is bloody bullshit. We've got to do something, so I've got an oven mitt. And I've got another silicone one that's a giant big weird thing. And I've got another one that's a cloth thing that my mum got me, but I like this one because it's actually like a proper glove style. Two-sided glove style. And this one is in fact made in India. Wow. Instant heating packs for sore muscles. Oh, there's only one patch in there. Alternative to a wheat pack. Is it instant heat? Yeah, air-activated instant heat. Or air-activated heat patch. These are like your pocket warmers, but this one's probably like a bloody super-duper adhesive heat patch. Oh, jeez, it's probably got stickiness on it. A lot of the stuff, they got adhesive stuff on it. Made in China. Made in Japan. Actually tells you the exact area it's made in. Tsubame. So that's a peeler that's like got a plastic cover to stop you. It's only the blade's sort of almost, yeah, half covered by the plastic too. It's supposed to be a piece of cucumber peel coming through there, but intriguingly enough, that one's actually made in Japan, and I don't have a peeler for the van, so that's going in there. Oh, this is cool. I was going to get two of these, but I just got the one, which is a little container. I thought it was so cool. We never have anything quite like this. I'm sure China could make it, but I've never seen anything quite like that with a little press button, flip open release. So I thought that'd be good for something, possibly batteries for the fan or matches or whatever the hell. Oh, this is good idea. This is different. Folding cup. I've actually seen a folding kettle, but this is a fully folding cup that goes down to nothing, made out of silicone. And I am not certain where this one... Oh, come on. Yeah, made in China again. How to use. Pull it right out, bang, and then push it back in again. Like I say, you see some strange stuff and you buy it just for the strange factor. This is as cute, and that looks like it's popped out. Now, that piece is actually meant to go up in there. But it's so small, that I just had to get it, because it's cute. I know, it's lime green and yellow, but it's so cute and so small. I thought, I sort of have a small brush and dustpan, but I lost the pan for it, and I can only find the brush. I'm sure the pan's around, but I haven't seen it for about 6 months. So, but I got the brush, and I see the brush around. It's a little, like a blue-pink thing, like a, little thing. But I thought, well, you know, I sort of want one especially for the van, and this one, you know, the brush goes inside the pan, and the whole lot lays very flat. And there's your little hole, so you can hang it on your screw. And I thought, you know what? I usually just use wet wipes to clean the floor of the van, but you know what? Might be a good idea just to have a little brush. And you know, another $2.80. Who cares? You know, it's like equivalent of $2 US. Who cares? It's not much. Oh, I got more of these. I often get these. And Oh, where was this made after all? Probably China again. No, this one's made in Vietnam. I got these every now and then. I think these are Chinese. Yep. It's like a little flossing thing. I use those when I get stuck in traffic and I get bored. I wanted something to go off the back doors that I could probably make up a little hook mechanism for and have hanging off the back doors, or get into some of these other slots where I've got a thin slot that's longer but it's only fairly thin. And I reckon if I could somehow get like they had things there, and you can make things up too. It's like a hook that goes up, so it goes bump, 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 and then it goes down and hangs on the bottom and comes around to the front. I could probably make something myself, to be honest, but I thought I could put some of those on like some of the doors, the back doors or whatever, and I thought, no, that's a good shape, so I'm going to get some of them, and I did, and there's a big bit of bloody plastic swarf hanging in the back there. Fairly fail. So I got 3 of them. I'll start going through the stuff in here in a second. I try to get a soap container. Now, years ago, my parents used to, and you often still can at Chinese dollar stores, get your soap holder that's all sealed up. But the trouble is now a lot of them, like the older ones that my parents used to have when I was younger, back in the 90s, they were quite good. But the Chinese ones are really loose and bad-fitting plastics, and it's just, you know. And I was looking at the Japanese one, and every single one the Japanese have got has drain holes in the bottom. So this is supposed to be a box just for organising other stuff, but it's all sealed on the bottom. And you've got your little handle on the top that you can hook a bit of string on, or put an S-hook on and hook to something else, or hang it off a screw, or hang it off one of those screw-in steel hooks. And it releases. And I reckon you can fit your bar of soap in there on an angle quite well. And as you come in, she overlaps. There you go. So you hit a bump and your soap won't fall out. I saw that there and I thought, you friggin' beauty, that'll be good enough for that. That will work. Oh, well. These 3 containers I showed you, they're made in Japan. Wow. This little tub here. Oh, I think this is also made in Japan. I can see written in a lot of these, they don't have Spanish, they've got Portuguese because they must be big in Brazil. I can see in Brazilian origin Japan, in Portuguese rather. Yes, here we go, right next to it, made in Japan. Right there, that black box. Yeah. Got these for my sister. I'm sure the kids will like these, the nieces. Plastic eraser with cola fragrance. They smell like cola. I just thought, oh my gosh. And they are also made in Japan. Got this for the brother-in-law. I was looking and I thought, they're pretty realistic looking black worms. It's a lure for fishing, and he's right into fishing. By the way, platypuses, you know those bizarre looking creatures? Yeah, they scare all the fish away when you're trying to fish, so he tells me. These are made in China. Shows you how to put the hook in. But I just looked at them and I thought, holy smoke, that does look like some bizarre thing that could be crawling along the bottom of a river. So I thought, yeah, I'll get those. Batteries, made in China. Alkaline AAA. And last of all, Buckwheat noodles. 3 bundles there. They give you a sort of darker looking noodle. And this is made in Japan as well. Yeah, so there we go. That's all the stuff. And yeah.